What's up everyone, All Electric Muscle. Today I want to talk about using Navigate on Autopilot using version 2019.28.3.1. We started using this on the 15 and went to the 91 and the 243 toll road. When we first put on Navigate on Autopilot system, we actually had to change lanes. When we were changing lanes, it was actually very smooth and a lot different from the old versions. It didn't feel really jerky at all. So there was a little construction we were at, and there was actually a lot of barriers in the number one lane. As you can see, when we're pulling up to them, the car stays very steady. In fact, you can see on the right hand side, there's actually a car that comes right next to us. I was a little concerned the car would slow down or try and veer to the left. And as you can see, the car stays very steady. And while this did feel very close to us, the car actually held its ground, and I was very impressed how well it stayed in its lane. So right now we're on the 15 going on to the 91 using the fast track. Again, there's some barriers and some cones right next to us, and the car again stays in its lane. Going over this overpass, my wife was a little nervous, as was I. We did keep our hands ready to take over the vehicle, but the entire time the car stayed right in the middle and there was no need to actually take over whatsoever. Now right here, the car did start slowing down a little bit. We were doing about 70, and I'm guessing because the car in front of us, the car did come down to about 65 miles per hour. We did have the settings set to 2 car lengths ahead of the car in front. And right here, we're merging onto the 91. I was a little concerned that with the cars on the right hand side, the car might get jerky, especially as you can see, the road was a little uneven, but the whole time the car did stay in the lane. So on the 91 fast track, there is a spot where you can actually go to the left and actually go in the 3+ lane if you have 3 people in your vehicle. The car did try to move over to the left, and it actually puts on the blinker, and then it stops and does stay back in the number 2 lane. I almost did take over because of that. And as you can see, the lanes do merge into one again. The car stays to the right and hugs the right a little bit, but once it finds the other line on the left hand side, it does go back into the middle. So this was the dilemma we had, and I was a little concerned how the Navigate on Autopilot system would work right here. We have to go from the number 1 lane, clear across 6 lanes of traffic. So I let the car do it to see how well it would figure it out, and immediately wants to get over. Right here, the car's trying to change lanes. You can see the steering wheel actually moving. If you don't get out of the fast track quick enough, you actually have to stay in it. It did recognize that truck right there that just passed us, and actually does start slowing down because it does want to get over. And as you can see, the car's moving over and merging flawlessly right now, and there is no jerking motion right here. And we are still in the 91 express lane, and right here, this is when we get into the number 1 lane for normal moving traffic. The car is still trying to move over as quickly as it can into the number 2 lane. And as soon as we're in the number 2 lane, the car does want me to move again to the number 3 lane. And it does so right here, but it is a little jerky, and I almost took over just because that car right next to us did come a little close. And so we're trying to move over again, but that car that's behind us, that was the white vehicle, is trying to figure out what it wants to do. So it did take the car a moment to figure it out, and it did slow down and finally merge over. And right here, it's trying to go into the last lane. Unfortunately, it's having a hard time with it. There was a car behind us that wasn't making it easy. So eventually I had to take over and actually speed up to get into the last lane. But the Tesla is very cautious, and it doesn't want to get over unless it's okay. And at one point, it does become 2 lanes again, and the car did get a little confused, so I did take over immediately, as you can see. I did put the Autopilot system back on, and going over this overpass to get onto the 243 toll road, I felt very confident with the vehicle, and there weren't any issues. As we were getting off the 243, it still felt like we were on the freeway, but the car was telling me that we were gonna have a signal ahead, and right where it says signal ahead, it did tell me a 300-foot count to actually take over the vehicle. But what I did notice, the autopilot system still stayed on, and it was working great. So I just allowed the car to keep working. If you notice any differences while using this version of Autopilot and Navigate on Autopilot, please leave us a comment. Like and subscribe to our channel so we can continue making videos for you guys. And if there's anything you do want us to make for you, please leave a comment as well below. As always, drive safe.